The joy that radiates on her face when she ministers does not tell the story of how she got here. It only tells that she is at home in worship. But there is another story to her, and that story birthed a ministry, Heart to Heart, that is helping over 150 young mothers and children. On the weekends, Irene Herbert visits here, Zizinga Island on Lake Victoria. Here, Heart to Heart Ministry opened a school, Heart to Heart Education Center. It has registered over 60 vulnerable children who are being given free quality education. And when she isn't at the island, she is at a village called Cheo in Kachiri, where she meets young mothers and teenage school dropouts. She counsels, encourages, and guides them. In addition, they are taught and trained to do some handwork like jewelry, threaded carpets, beaded handbags, among other things. And when she isn't there, she is at Kawala in Kasubi at Glory of Christ Church, where still she handles young mothers and teenage school dropouts. Some are already sponsored in a tailoring school, while others are still under training in jewelry making, handbags, and carpets. At this center, Heart to Heart Ministries organizes annual conferences in which attendants are taught the Word of God and their handwork is showcased. This is the story she so badly wants to share with us. The story of women and children picking themselves up and surviving a world that has dealt them a heavy hand. This story starts with her own. Irene Herbert has 6 children and is married to Pastor Herbert Chiwanuka. She grew up in a polygamous family. Her father had 4 wives and she was one of the 15 children he sired. It was a little place, the one they called home, a madhouse with just enough room to rest your head. In her teenage years, her mother passed on, but not without leaving her help. The help came in the form of the gospel. She had spoken to Irene about Christ, and that is who Irene began to heavily lean on when the days were too much for her.
She left me with my siblings, and one of my siblings, she was sick. She had heart problems, liver, kidney. And by that time I had no money. She used to feel sick all the time. It was me to take care of her, taking her to the hospital, and she did not make it.
She trudged on, doing everything she could to provide for her siblings. She was the firstborn child.
And I used to move from village to village, selling pancakes. And sometimes I could sell, and sometimes I do not sell. So I come back with a full basket of pancakes. And we thank God that we survived.
Somehow, they made it through those years. She eventually came to Kampala to live with an aunt and find a way to make and send more money home.
And I started working as a housemaid. Used to give me 10,000 a month.
She came back to the village, and at about that time, a team from Glory of Christ Church came for a crusade in her village. They had quite an impact. Irene was already born again and a worship minister. They loved her and took her with them. She started serving in the worship team at the church, where she later met and married Pastor Herbert Chiwanuka. Her new role carried great responsibility. She had been trained for it from her early years, but still, there were moments when she wondered how she could ever ably help the people that sought her out. The harrowing stories of desperate women and children, abused and homeless, were the beginning. She knew that while to just listen and counsel was useful in its own way, more had to be done, and the burden sat heavy on her heart.
And another girl came to me. She told me that she had her 6 uncles at the age of 8. Those 6 uncles used to rape her every day. The girl started falling sick, and her friends advised her to go to the hospital. When she went to the hospital, the doctor told her that, you know what, girl? Number 1, you're pregnant. And number 2, you're HIV positive.
The load was too heavy. The stories hit too close to home.
Many children are there suffering. They don't have food. They don't have good education, quality education. They don't have shelter. But they need someone whom they can, lean on.
What she didn't have in her childhood, she wants to give.
So I went and prayed, and God gave me a name of the ministry, Heart to Heart.
The ministry was born. She got a team together, and so far they have done what they can, budget constraints notwithstanding.
We train our girls what we call life skills, how to make jewelries, tailoring, books, so many things. So that's where we get the opportunity to showcase our things. Even we also put modeling competitions.
They want to do more. Just now, the numbers grow by the day, and the facilities they have can only hold so many and do so much. Irene has a dream.
I see big schools, primary schools, secondary schools, university. We don't have a land. So that means we need our own land where we can put our own structures. If me and you, we stand together, and we put maybe a building where we can put those sewing machines, hair dryers, and we train those girls. Number 1, we'll be helping them to earn a living. Number 2, they'll be able to take care of their children, to buy for them milk, even to take them back to school. So any amount you can contribute can make a change.
Irene is a gospel artist. Whatever money she gets from her music, she uses to sustain the Heart to Heart Ministries. She is keeping the dream alive, fueled mostly by her own childhood.
Ebiwujjo mwenzi gy'omukka gwenzisa